Hello everyone, how you doing? Welcome back to Train Sim World 3 and another one from the Creators Club. Nope, your eyes are not deceiving you. This is the Class 43 HST First Great Western, and we are at Haymarket. We're going to do a run from Haymarket down to Glasgow, Queen Street. Let's get everything set up. We'll have a little talk about it as we normally do. Let's get everything ready in the cab. Get the master key on, put it forwards. Then we need the gauge dimmer all the way up so we can see what we're doing. Headlights. It's 6 o'clock at night, but we'll put it on day headlamps and markers. Why not? It's quite bright, isn't it? That's all okay. Right, I think we're ready to go. So, Midland Mainline is coming on Tuesday, and as a DTG ambassador, I will get access to that as well. So we'll take a look at that on Tuesday. Come and join me for that. We'll look at that live. So, with that coming, we're going to get a 158, and we're going to get a new HST. So, I thought, let's run something with the HST, but not on Great Western Express. So I had a look on the Creators Club, and as usual, Tom Fresco's scenarios are very, very good. And this one was sat there for the HST in Scotland, so we're having a bit of Scottish HST in this one. It's about a 40-minute run, I think, down to Glasgow, Queen Street. We won't get up to 125 miles per hour on this route, unfortunately. The top speed tops out about 100 miles per hour, but not to worry, it's absolutely fine. Somewhere new to run the HST, and from Tuesday we'll be running it on the Midland Mainline in the new livery as well. So I'm quite looking forward to that, because I do like the HST, but it's been confined, hasn't it, to the Great Western Express so far, with a couple of services on the Birmingham Cross City, of course, but largely Great Western Express. So it's nice to see in Creators Club that there are scenarios like this that we can run. So if you do want to run this, it's a Tom Fresco one. Go and look for Tom Fresco's scenarios. It's quite a popular one. And you will need to run this one. You will of course need this route, this rivet route, which is Glasgow, Edinburgh. You'll need that. You will also need access to Great Western Express for the HST, and I believe the 66, which we will see at various points as we are going down to Glasgow. And you will also need the Cathcart Circle line, because the 314 does appear in this scenario too. So the first of the traffic is actually coming up. Looks good. That's the mastery tile, by the way, for this route, if you're wondering. There's Murrayfield Rugby Stadium, and that's the mastery tile outside there. So we have got 21 miles to Falkirk. We just got one stop, which is Falkirk, and then straight through to Queen Street after that. So sit back and enjoy this one. Looks like a very nice evening up in Scotland. Still nice and sunny. The track ahead of us, it's great. I'm really looking forward to getting in the HST again on the Midland Mainline. So we did this week, we did some Creators Club. We ran a couple of scenarios actually from the Creators Club, so it got me into thinking about searching around. That's how I found this one. And not having been in the HST for a little while, I thought I'd have a practice. The HST that's coming with Midland Mainline is slightly different to this one, especially in the layout of the cab. You will notice once you get your hands on it. But no, this I thought is a good route to run it on. Again, it's a fairly straight route, so it's good for a high-speed train. So if you do own all those DLCs I just mentioned, go to Creators Club and pick this one up, give it a run. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. So we can run up to 100 on this stretch. Let's sound the horn as we go through, just for safety. We'll get some outside views very shortly once we get out of this tight scenery. Quite a few bridges just here in this section. Let's idle it and take a look outside. $43,345. Now I think this, you don't need the livery for this one. This first Great Western one, if I can get my words out. I believe that the files for this are in the base game, and it was an unreleased livery. Because it does exist in the base game, so you don't have to download this livery separately, just in case you were wondering. And this is the first time you've seen it. I think there also is a 166 as well in this livery. 166 being the other train that comes with Great Western Express, and you will find quite a few scenarios using this livery by Tom Fresco. All of them very, very good. It's quite a nice livery, isn't it? The mixture of the pink and the blue. Quite nice on the inside there in the first class. So we do have an 80 coming up, just under 2 miles, 17 miles to Falkirk, so we're still quite a way to go. I think Falkirk High is about the midway point-ish, it's around about that for this route end to end. Although saying that, we did start at Haymarket, we didn't start at Edinburgh, but Haymarket isn't that far from Edinburgh. It's what, a couple of miles at most, I think. Let's get the throttle up for now. We do have to come down to 80 very shortly. But do let me know if you do pick this up, pick this scenario up, then let me know what you think. Drop me a comment down below. And yeah, if you enjoy it as well, it's the old sales pitch. Do leave me a like if you enjoy it, because that's what it's about. We're just over 100 subscribers now, needed to 2,000. Thank you to everybody that has jumped on board and joined our little community. Really do appreciate that. Look at that, it's great, isn't it? Let's have a bit of horn. Lovely. Now, some of you who've joined my live streams know that this HST, this Class 43, in real life isn't something that I'm that familiar with, because in my neck of the woods, in the northwest, you didn't see these on the West Coast Main Line. But it's really strange, because after Midland Mainline was announced and the fact we were getting an HST, I did actually see, when I was at Preston Station, I did actually see the Pullman, which is an HST of course, and I did a short video on that. I'll link it up in the right hand corner now if you didn't see that. That's real footage from Preston Station of the Pullman. So I got up nice and close to that one on the platform, which was quite nice. It just pulled in, just awaiting a light, waiting the green light on its way up to Scotland, actually, to begin the Whitby Jet. It was going to be the service. It was going to be the following day, so it was going up to Scotland and coming down the east coast the day after. So I managed to capture some footage on that, which was quite nice. So yeah, just have a look at that if you've not seen it. But then I was travelling a couple of weeks after that. I was travelling down to London for work, and of course, on the West Coast Main Line, you pass the Crewe Heritage Centre. And as I always do, I look over to the Heritage Centre just to see what they've got. You know, the APT is always sat there, of course. But then there's always something nice to look at as you go past, and there was an HST in the quite famous Intercity 125 colours, the old yellow and blue from the 70s, which is a Hornby train set I had actually back when I was a kid. So I've gone from not seeing an HST in real life to seeing a couple all in the space of a couple of weeks. I thought that was a very nice coincidence after Midland Mainline was announced. So I have a little bit of a soft spot for them, even though I've never travelled on one. And you're all probably saying, you've never travelled on an HST? I haven't. So there you go. But I have travelled on lots of Pacers, so there you go. So if you've been on an HST and you've not been on a Pacer, you're not missing out. How are we doing? 12 miles to Falkirk High. Very smooth running train, this. Really nice to drive in the game. And of course we do get to do 125 on the Great Western Express out of Paddington, or from Reading down to Paddington, but not on this line. 100 is the top on this line. And if you haven't got this route, how come you haven't got this route? I'd be interested to know that actually, because this is a rivet route, but actually it's really nice. I quite like it. I do spend a lot of time on this route, and I quite enjoy it. I think this is better than the other Scottish route we've got, which is Cathcart Circle. I do like Cathcart Circle, but for a different reason. This is obviously faster, and it's a nice run. It's a nice long run. As I said, it'll take us about 40 minutes on this run to get from one end to the other, which is quite nice actually, quite a nice length of time. It's obviously a lot longer if you're doing one of the stopping services. We've only got this one stop at Falkirk High, which helps us time wise, but no, I don't know that we've had so many releases, haven't we? Since January we've got so many releases, you know, and I understand these all cost money, and all the routes are around 30 quid now, aren't you? So I bet, you know, many people are having to pick and choose which routes they want to run, which routes they want to buy. So, you know, it wasn't that long ago, was it, that there was a new route every, what, sort of 3 to 4 months? So at one stage, players may have bought every single route, but there's a lot more choice now, especially with the third parties coming in, such as Rivet, such as Skyhook, who are making the Midland Mainline, and you get a bit more choice. So there isn't the need to sort of buy everything, and you can pick up some stuff in the sales. So that seems to have sort of accelerated since TSW3, doesn't it? But I'd be interested to know, if you didn't pick this up, how come you didn't pick this up? Maybe you just don't like the UK trains, or maybe because it was a rivet route. But you can see it here in all its glory. It's quite nice, quite a nice route. I think they did very well on this one. We got 7.3 miles into Falkirk High. And we do have 100 coming up, so we can accelerate again. In fact, we'll start doing a little bit now. Shall we take a look outside? We'll do a little flyby if I can do it on the sticks, because we are playing on the PS5. If I can get myself out of the trees as well, that will help, wouldn't it? Really nice shiny livery, that one, isn't it? There's the Buffy car. All the way to the back. Doesn't look like we've got many people on. I'm getting higher and higher with this flyby. There we go. Let's pick it up at the back of the train. Just over 5 miles to go. I think, you know, from what I could see, I haven't played Midland Mainline yet. I've only seen as much of it as you guys have. So I've only seen the preview stream that DTG did last Thursday. And in many ways, this is very similar, isn't it? From a driving the HST perspective, from what I could see. Obviously the scenery is a little bit different. I think it's 30 miles Midland Mainline, end to end. So this is slightly longer. But I think it's looking good. There's also some possibilities on Midland Mainline, isn't there, for freight, some kind of additional freight, because I think it only comes with one freight service, as I understand it, out of the box. But there's that power station there, isn't there, which isn't accessible at the moment, Radcliffe Power Station. And I wonder if there's going to be a completely separate DLC for that somewhere down the line. Who knows? If it's not on the roadmap, you know how the saying goes. Right, we got 3 miles into Falkirk, so we'll aim to make a safe stop. See if we can pick anybody up at Falkirk that's going into Glasgow. Just coasting at the moment. And I'll put the brakes to initial quite soon, just bring some of that speed off. As with all Creators Club scenarios, you can see there at the top left, we're not actually due into Falkirk at any certain time, so although we started the scenario at 6 PM, there's no target time for arrival at Falkirk or at Glasgow. So, you know, that's another thing, that's another good thing about Creators Club. It's a little bit more relaxed, you know, from a timetable perspective. You can enjoy the route slightly more than you can when you're working to the timetable. It's less strict. So I'm going to put the brake into initial, and we'll just let the speed come off just slowly. .3 miles out. I'll just run it again. Just cruise in around 50 miles per hour. .8 to go, so I will start putting it into initial once more. once we get the other side of this tunnel, we should be there. So 20 minutes down from Haymarket down to Falkirk. Quite a nice section there. See the platforms ahead. Other side of this bridge. So we'll just come to a gentle stop. We don't have people on the platform. Hopefully they will jump on and go to Glasgow with us. Just didn't look very busy on the actual train, did it? There we go. Let's open the doors. Ah, so we've got people. Maybe they're all sat in one coach because there's nobody getting on at the top up here, you see. Everybody's getting on at the back. Welcome to Scotland, says the collectible poster. Right. This is a nice shiny livery though, isn't it, that one? Let's get the doors locked. We can be on our way. So we've got 20 miles to Glasgow. It looks as if those doors are not shut there at the back. Oh, there they go. As you get nearer, look at that. As you get nearer, the doors close. Let's set off with that back door open. Let's see what happens. Someone's going to get hit by the door. How strange that is. If I move down, it'll close. There you go. That's odd, isn't it? Not to worry. Let's get going. Glasgow Queen Street, platform 5 is where we're headed. So I've got the throttle on max. It does take a little bit of time to accelerate. I think Matt actually said on the DTG stream it takes as long to accelerate from in the HST from 0 to 100 as it does to get from 100 to 125 miles per hour. That's quite interesting. But we're perfectly flat here. And you can see it is accelerating, but it's, you know, it's not that fast, is it? I know coming out of Paddington on Great Western Express, you can come several miles out of Paddington before you get anywhere near to the 125. Slough is the midway point, isn't it, on Great Western Express? And you know, it's not that far before Slough where you actually reach the 125. So it's not a fast accelerating loco at all. I suppose these are quite old now, aren't they, these HSTs? Are they 70s? Are they early 70s? I don't quite recall. $18 miles to go. So I think the other thing on this HST, the door doesn't, can you see the door doesn't open? The door is locked. The handle's going, but it doesn't open. So one thing that Skyhook did put in, after players requested it, was the ability to open the door whilst you're driving. Now, I don't know why players wanted that so much. If you're one of those players, let me know why you wanted that so much. I mean, the only thing you're going to do is jump out of the train whilst it's moving. I can't think of any other reason why you would want the door open. But anyway, that's a feature that Skyhook have built into the new HST that's coming out on Tuesday. So all those of you that did want that feature, I hope you enjoy it. I'm genuinely interested to know why. Don't know if it's because the other trains do that, and it niggled everybody that the HST doesn't. I don't know. See what I mean about this route though? It's fairly straight. It's quite wide. It's suited to this HST. Got the Scottish Hills over to our right. If we can see it through the trees, you can just see it. There you go. Bonnie, Scotland. Try and keep the speed up as near to the 100 if I can. Now, of course, we've been talking about the HST a lot, naturally, because that's what we're driving, but we're also going to get the 158, which I'm also quite looking forward to. Now, the 158 is something I know quite well. I've travelled on lots of 158s in the past. I'm going to assume it probably drives in TSW very similar to the Class 150 from that we've got from West Cornwall. Which we also actually drove during the week on the Creators Club. Go back and have a look at that video if you missed it. We do have a Tintin_57 gaming channel livery for the Class 150. So if you go and watch that video, you'll be able to learn there how to get that. The link actually is in the description as well for that video if you want to pick that up, if you've got the 150. So yeah, I hope it's going to be very similar to that. It certainly looked like it on Thursday's preview stream, so not too complicated to drive. So I'm quite looking forward to putting some mileage in with that one. The 150 actually, it does get a lot of criticism from some players about its acceleration and the sound. But it is actually one of my favourite trains that is in TSW, and I think it's because I've got fond memories of it from when I used to work for British Rail, and specifically Regional Railways North West. I think that's why. If you watch my videos, you guys probably laugh at me. If I want to test out a new route, I go into the scenario planner and I roll out the class 150. I generally will run the 150 up and down the new route to get a good look at the route, which is what we did on Thursday in the on Wednesday, sorry, in the Creators Club. We went on Spirit of Steam in the class 150 from Liverpool all the way to Crewe, and I do that quite a lot. And I always use the 150 because it's easy to drive, and it's one of my favourites. It does have a couple of things wrong with it, but nothing that's really going to stop your enjoyment. It's not going to stop you driving it. Right, we've only got 10 miles to Glasgow. So I said about 40 minutes, didn't I? It's gonna work out about right. Just a reminder, if you're on Creators Club, you're looking for this, just have a look. You'll see it's one of the more recent ones by Tom Fresco. Tom's scenarios are very popular, and he's created, I think, somewhere in the region of 200 plus uploads to Creators Club. So he's got a lot of good stuff on there. So if you've a favourite loco, or you've got a favourite route, then I would encourage you to go into Creators Club and look for that loco, or look for that route, and just see what there is on Creators Club that you can download, which will just enhance your enjoyment of that content even more. And that's what we did with Spirit of Steam the other night. Rather than just run the steam trains up and down, it's good fun to put the class 150 on there, for example. I mean, alright, we've said it before, you sometimes have to suspend reality. You're not going to see a class 150 in 1950s Liverpool or Crewe, are you? Not really. So suspend reality for a little bit and treat the route just as a route. If you can, if you can see past the time period that it's set, then you can have some good fun. .7 to Glasgow, so it's not going to take us very long at all. Once again, thanks for watching. I do appreciate it, and I appreciate the likes and the subscriptions that you guys give me. Looking forward to Midland Mainline. Don't forget to come back on Tuesday. We'll run it live. Be great to see you there. We can have a chat about the new line. If you've already picked it up, you can let me know what you think. If you're on the fence, if you're not really sure if you're going to pick it up yet, you want to see a little bit more of it, Tuesday on the stream will be a good time to come and ask me some questions. If there's anything you want me to show you, we can perhaps do that. And we'll give it a thorough going over. We'll run it a couple of times end to end in both trains, and we'll see what it's all about. And the other thing is as well, of course, that I'm on the PS5, so if you want to see what it runs like on the console, it will be next gen console. I can't show you what it will be like on the PS4 or the Xbox One, but if you just want to look on the console, then again, Tuesday is when we'll do it. Because a lot of the time the preview streams seem to be on the PC, don't they? There has been some in the past. There has been some console preview streams which have been quite nice to see, but generally they're done on PC. So often when the ambassadors pick the DLC up, it's quite often the first time you get to actually see it run on a console. So we will be flying the flag for the PS5 on Tuesday, but as I always say, doesn't matter if you're on PS5, any PlayStation, any Xbox, PC, every single person is welcome in the streams. It's just our little community that we've got, little gaming community. It's really nice to talk to you guys in those streams, so I do appreciate it. and I hope to see you there. Not far from Glasgow at all now, 4.4. We need to reduce speed to 85 in just under a mile and a half. Let's just take another look outside before we do get to Glasgow. Right, we'll start slowing down for this 85, just put it in initial. There we go. 3.3 miles. So the speeds will start to drop as we come nearer to Glasgow. I'll put it back in initial, we've got a 70. Speed comes down in stages on our way in. I'm not quite at the point yet where I can run this route without the hood. I tend to like to leave the hood on, to be honest, anyway. But some routes, when I'm playing off stream, I will remove the hood if I know the route well enough. And apart from when you're coming into Glasgow or Edinburgh, on this route, it's generally 90 or 100 along the way. So it's one of the more straightforward ones to kind of route learn. Here's the big depot outside of Glasgow. I'll just add a touch of throttle, we don't want to come in too slow. So it's nearly 20 to 7 at night. Still good weather, isn't it? Still looking nice out there. Proper summer's night. So we've got a 30 coming up. We do drop down into the tunnel just before Glasgow. Then it reduces us to 20 just before the station. Because Glasgow, of course, is where trains terminate. Glasgow Queen Street, that is. So you can't go through the station. You can't go through the station without crashing through the buffers, that is. You can see we've got a 2.2% drop downhill. Down to the 30. Here's the tunnel just ahead, and Queen Street is just the other side of this. So all in all, it's been a really nice smooth run. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. something a bit different. This is what Creators Club is all about. Doing something a little bit different, but still getting the same enjoyment. Something you wouldn't expect. And I keep saying this every time we run Creators Club, there's some very clever players out there that spend a lot of time on deliveries and on the scenarios that they create. You know, for us, the rest of us, we can just go and pick those up. And it's all part of the base game. As long as you own the DLC that scenario's for, then you don't pay anything else. So it's a really nice addition to the game. Right, the other side of the tunnel is Queen Street. Speed's looking good. Still got a 2.2%, but it will start to flatten out as we reach the end of this tunnel. Just keep dabbing the initial brake on and off. The 314 there on the left, as you can see, which comes from Cathcart Circle. There are a couple of services in the timetable that do run on this route if you own this route and you own Cathcart Circle. But this is the end of our service, so we will get parked up and we will let everybody off. Just ease our way forward. There we go. Right, let's get the doors open. They've got the PIS, of course, on this route, as you can see. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is our run of the HST in preparation for the HST we're going to get on Tuesday for Midland Mainline. So thanks everybody for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for coming along for the ride. Looking forward to Tuesday. Don't forget to come back on Tuesday. Watch me play Midland Mainline live. Let's have a chat together. Take it easy. All the best. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.